And we're back!
I'm Joe.
And I'm Kokoy. Together we are Tito with Nephew. Hey, Nephew!
Hello.
Yes, Joe. Welcome to our channel.
Thank you.
Finally, I have proof that I'm a real Tito.
That's true.
Right? Am I a Tito?
Yeah, despite the fact that
We don't
doesn't
look alike.
not at all.
No, but we are very much alike
Sure.
in spirit.
Yes.
So, welcome to the Philippines, my dear nephew.
Thank you.
And we definitely miss you. And that's why we invited you for our channel, because I'm very proud that my nephew is also very musical. So the last time he was here, one of the last times, I gave him his own cheap ukulele. So, but this time he's trying to improve and he wants to upgrade.
Yes.
And like you're not really a tourist, but if you were to like go back here or recommend to your friends, where would you usually like to go? I mean, from America, right?
Yes, I'm from California.
Yeah.
And we've always been coming here to Manila.
Manila, yeah, but you've not been to
We've
anywhere
never
else.
been
Yeah,
really
not
anywhere
much,
else.
not much.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to go south.
South?
See some other islands. See
Like beaches.
Yes.
You know that we have the best beaches in
That's
the
what I've
world,
heard.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not only cheap, food is good, food is safe, and yeah, most islanders will actually relate to you better because English is our second language.
That's true.
In a way.
Yes.
Yeah. So beaches, like, is there any? It's like from America. What usually are advertised for tourists to go? I mean, if you were to go with your friends here, do you see these advertised? I mean, is our tourism being advertised properly?
I think so. I mean, we have Boracay.
Boracay.
We have the Bohol, the Chocolate
Bohol,
Hills.
Chocolate
We
Hills.
have Cebu.
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 Yes, where our mangoes comes from.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
so let's say if I were to invite you to go to Cebu, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna be doing the tourist stuff, going to the beach. Then what will you bring for yourself, like a souvenir or for your friends back
What
home?
would you recommend? A good souvenir for an American coming to the Philippines?
Well, of course, I would recommend our ukuleles because Cebu is actually our guitar capital of the Philippines.
I didn't
So
know that.
they also do ukuleles.
Guitar capital
So
of the Philippines.
that is what we are featuring for today, right? So I would like to sell you into the concept of the Cebu-made ukulele. In our channel, we've been doing a number of Cebu ukuleles. However, based on your concerns, I would be recommending the brand Wagas.
What
We
does
have a
Wagas
nice. Wagas is practically like boom. Like, that's the best way I can. You spot check me on that. I have to research on it. But it's really like Wagas, the finality or
the
something.
finality.
Well, again, you are studying linguistics, right?
That's true.
All right. So in any case, I would like to ask in the behalf of the Cebuanos, it's like if you were to look for a souvenir ukulele, because you're gonna buy it anyway, you're gonna pay it. You're not just like the cheap one I gave you that you can't play. The next purchase. What are you going to be looking for when you want to take home a tourist? Something you can bring home.
Yes,
something that won't be illegal.
Yes, something that's you can pack it easily.
You pack it easy.
Yeah, it has a good sound. It's solid.
Good sound and solid.
Yeah, and it's not. Let's see, the last one I had, it cracked. It cracked from the humidity, the change in humidity.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, those are good questions to address.
you
So
have that. Yeah.
again, pack easily. Good sound. And able to withstand foreign conditions.
And of course, the craftsmanship. That's very important.
Craftsmanship.
you want
Yes,
to
craftsmanship.
have
It has to look pretty. Does it have to look pretty?
It should look-
Because
yeah, it should look pretty.
in Hawaii, sometimes the best crafted they don't look pretty
Well, it depends on
because
what you're
it's so
looking for.
plain, right? This one you're looking, it's so bright.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
because we are multiple islands,
Yeah,
like
many
7,107 point something islands, right?
Big number of islands.
So we are very much like Hawaii.
That's true.
So when you're looking for an island life, the Philippines is very much maybe the next. Forget the Bahamas, Philippines, Cebu. Cebu as well as Boracay. But Boracay, they don't have a ukulele making
ukuleles.
community.
It's interesting.
So that's why if you're gonna look for an island ukulele, okay, Philippines is the way to go, right? They make ukuleles in Indonesia and stuff like that. But we're better than Bali. So again, we will address that. So this is the Wagas ukulele. Now the first thing that you immediately notice, what do you think? Yeah.
Well, it's got a nice color. I think the painting on it is, see the side here.
What kind of fruit do you think it is? If it's not obvious yet.
Well, it looks like, see, look at this.
Oh.
Looks like a pineapple, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sliced pineapple.
Yeah, because one thing is like,
Fruit on the inside.
first of all, Cebu is known for mangoes and not pineapples.
That's true.
So to see a pineapple design coming from a Cebu, it's also definitely like a durian because sometimes the pattern can look like one.
It does kind of look like
In a way,
it's
even the
kinda
shape.
spiky on the side. too.
Jackfruit
Maybe
or
it is.
durian.
Maybe it is jackfruit.
Yeah, but again, you notice very well that is a pineapple.
that is a pineapple.
Also because pineapple is a very natural size for a ukulele. But if you notice, it's quite big.
It is. It's a bit bigger than a pineapple.
Yes. If you go to Hawaii and buy a pineapple ukulele, because Hawaii is also well known for pineapples, that's why you get them sweet in California.
Yep.
So because of that, the pineapple concept for ukulele has been around ever since.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the invention of the ukulele, but maybe somewhere in the part where, like, when tourism started building up,
really?
so that they can bring home something very
Sense, yeah.
colorful.
It's very iconic of.
Yeah, so it's not that Cebu copied Hawaii, but since Hawaii invented the ukulele,
I think when Americans think of these places, they think of pineapples.
that is actually good to know.
Yeah.
Because as Filipinos, we've been here so much, we actually have eat the fruit so much that when we play ukulele, we don't want to play a pineapple ukulele, right? We want a brown, glossy, something look Hawaiian. But again, this is one thing that I can be proud to say is that this is actually hand painted.
Yeah.
Wagas is a very homemade brand. But all their ukuleles are handmade. So the first thing that when you buy a ukulele, especially if you are traveling, first you have to figure out if you can fit it in your luggage.
That's true.
So let's measure it.
All right.
Right? So a pineapple ukulele from Hawaii would usually be on the soprano scale because it's small, like a pineapple.
Oh, what's
it's
that
cute,
mean?
like a pineapple.
What does that mean? Soprano scale.
Soprano scale. There are three sizes of the ukulele, main sizes. You start with small soprano, then you have the concert, then four then. Soprano, concert, tenor, then you have the baritone. I say four because normally baritone is the last thing in people's mind, and it's like a special category. So there are really three major. So soprano size is small. So is this to prove to you that this is bigger than a soprano? We will use the measuring tape. All right. So when you are measuring a size, sometimes the seller, especially if you're buying it as a souvenir, the salesman might know or might not know that the best way to measure is not for the size of the body, because that is how they usually set it. Like if I were to measure this, I see 24 inches. Now 24 inches is actually concert size. Yeah. Soprano is somewhere in the 22, so it will be like this small. Right? So tenor is like on the 26.
Wow.
So this is definitely somewhere in the concert when it comes to body. However, the most important thing is actually your scale length is determined by the nut to the saddle.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yes, nephew. So when we measure this, what do you see?
17.
No, you measure it from the nut to the saddle. You're measured from the nut to the bridge. Okay, the butt of the bridge is what we
This
initially.
side of the bridge.
This is the saddle over here.
I see.
So it's usually white. That's why we will get into that. This is a very special ukulele because the saddle is not white. So usually the saddle is made out of bone. 16 and a half. Okay, 16 and a half is weird because normally it's like 14, 16, 17. So 16 and a half is actually confirms that this is concert, but with the half, it's in the realm of extended concert or a short tenor.
So what does that mean for the sound?
Yeah, that's a good question, which is why later we will run it through a sound test as well as a feel test.
Oh, okay.
Right. So first the science.
Exciting.
So now we know that it's a concert size, right? And it's 24-inch. So that fits you in a medium-sized luggage.
Yeah, this would fit in my carry-on.
It is gonna fit in a carry-on.
See, it's not even.
Yes.
It's not too big.
It's not so big. That's why I guess the Hawaiians would make it more in soprano size because it's easier, really. But for travelers like you, who usually really carry bigger bags, it fits perfectly. So yes, we are now determined that it is concert size. You know, honestly, the concert and tenor are quite close to size. But the only difference is that first, we Filipinos have smaller hands probably. Doesn't matter if high, big, wide.
Yes, that's true.
And some Europeans have bigger hands, right?
Maybe I have.
Let me measure your hand. No, but you're part Filipino, so don't worry. You are
Somewhere
between. You are the perfect size for a concert. That
true.
is why sometimes people like me, because I'm more chubby than normal Filipinos, I prefer a tenor size. In terms of sound, a tenor is going to be louder. Okay, so concert in tenor is roughly in that. But again, since this is like in between, it's actually kind of in a way compensates for the pineapple shape. Okay, by making it a little bit maybe a bit bigger, right? So that the sound quality. Yeah. Now the next question, when you ask yourselves, was our second question?
Our second question was was it about the humidity?
No, that was the third.
That was the second question.
Anyway,
The sound.
Sound, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so well, usually people will be concerned. Yeah, let's hit it with one stone. Usually people are going to be concerned if it's going to be a souvenir ukulele. It should be worth it, right? You're gonna pay this. You're gonna pay. How much are you willing to pay for a ukulele? Because don't ask me. We've had so many episodes. You know, guys, how much I pay for my ukulele. So, well, tourist Joe.
I think $100.
$100. There.
reasonable.
Okay, let's stop it at $100. This is like $70.
Okay, yeah.
But
I
with
like that.
inflation, a little packing,
I mean, hand painted, right?
hand painted.
That's worth it. I think
So it
that's
is
worth
worth. So you think it's worth?
Yeah, I would pay $70 for that for
Yeah,
sure.
$100 is the average.
I think
Good
like I said, the craftsmanship matters.
craftsmanship. So definitely at $70, the first thing you have to ask yourself is that what are the materials? So this is the wagas. What I will have to tell you guys is that this is a 10-year-old at least wagas model. So that puts it in the early days of their manufacturing. When they became more famous, now the quality or the craftsmanship will either be better or worse, right?
Hopefully better.
In a way, they're still nearly the same, but the type of material used is definitely different. Because in design sense, they might have already figured out what is good, what is not, and stuff like that. But the general aspect of how they built this thing is still normally the same. So the first thing you will notice is that for me, this old model is that the frets are beginning to tarnish, right? So definitely the brassing. So that's not stainless steel. It's not chrome.
Show the.
It is brass. Yes, there's a little brassing. There you
You
go.
can see there.
Yes. But for me, it adds to the island life.
Yeah,
Right?
that's good.
Like a pineapple will never be perfect. You'll have this pits.
And it's 12 years old, 2014. It says.
Does say 2014.
So that's
Yeah.
It's part of the life cycle of these.
Okay. The wood material for the soundboard or the back or the body itself. Normally in Cebu they would use mango.
Mango
because,
wood.
Yeah.
Oh.
So let's assume it's mango wood. This is old, so the details are not readily available anymore. These days they might be using different kinds of wood, like langka, like Philippine mahogany, which is different from U.S. mahogany.
Interesting.
And sometimes if they have the higher line, maybe a nice imported spruce. So the fingerboard is not brown, right? Yeah, this is probably you don't have that much instruments, but usually a ukulele is made, or any guitar instrument is usually made with some rosewood material. But here in the Philippines, of course, we don't really have that much rosewood. So whatever materials that are readily available. This one has a nice skunk stripe, but a reverse skunk stripe, where the line that is different is practically darker than the usually, as when we in the manufacturing sense, when you call skunk striping, is when you have a dark material than some light. This only means it's natural wood.
Right. That's good.
Yeah, and the staining in this sense is, guys, well, you've heard me and my other job friend talk about how industrial versus handmade. So this is actually varnish.
I see.
Normally you don't put anything on your fretboard, but because this is not the dark wood, you have to put protection with varnish.
How are the strings?
The strings have been changed for the last 14 years. This is probably Aquila. Okay, when you buy this at $100 or $70 from the souvenir shop, normally they would use the most basic Aquila strings.
What's Aquila?
Aquila is the brand.
Oh, okay.
It's the basic brand for. It's like we say in this channel, is like any $70 instrument you buy is probably strung up with Aquila to begin with. It's nice, but it's not the best. But it's also white. So sometimes if you want to prefer clear.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the nut and the saddle. This is the nut, and this is the saddle. Normally it's made out of bone or plastic, but when you look at it, do you notice what it is? What it seems like to you? It's like glimmering in this.
You can almost
see through it. Okay, it's not going to be much in the details, but what we have here, what Wagas has put, which is not a common practice for many reasons, is a very clear acrylic. So definitely because it's clear, it's acrylic, right? So definitely that can affect the sound, but we'll speak about sound later. So, but it does add to the niceness, right? It's okay if it were white, but because you're looking at it and it's acrylic, and you don't see that from many brands. As a tourist, like if I were a tourist in Hawaii, then it would be as like a special feature.
Yeah,
The bad thing, of course, is that if you don't take care of it pretty well, it will crack.
Yeah. Well, I'd say because it's transparent or translucent, at least it kind of blends with the wood better.
Yes, so that means that if you
wood.
were to design a ukulele, the most normalized color for any design would be clear. Yeah. But sound-wise, because it's acrylic, it's also could be makes it a little bit more on the treble side. And again, the cracking. Right. Which was, I think, one of the other questions you wanted.
Yes.
Like, will the wood crack?
I brought a ukulele back from
The wood crack?
Philippines.
Yeah.
Right up here. After 2 weeks in the US, it cracked.
Good question, guys, because if you were a tourist, that is one of the most concerns. Of course, the first thing is that can you fit it in your luggage? Because no matter how good it is, if you can't fit it. So we've proven that. The next is, will it last? Now, the problem is, from the Philippines to the US, it's a good thing that it's from Philippines to California, but you're on the cold side of California.
Yeah, no, we've got moderate weather.
Moderate weather,
Yeah.
because if you bring it to winter weather, then you'll have question marks.
Yes.
Yeah, but then in moderate weather, that thing cracked. Okay, first of all, I think the last time you were here, if you had bought that, I wouldn't have. We did not recommend Wagas.
I think we might have gotten.
You might have gotten a $30 ukulele.
We took it back around the time that this one was made. It was
Yes,
about 12 years ago.
12 years ago. So, but I think it would have probably cracked within the first 3 years, because that might have been something that is not in the $70 range.
Yeah.
So this is considered a little bit on the more expensive side.
Feels solid.
It's real solid. Good point. Because Wagas, the reason why I'm also encouraging you to choose this brand is because the way this thing is made. Now, one thing you guys should know about Wagas is that, yes, again, Wagas is not that big factory you think. The Wagas factory is quite like a nice hot or covered area, and everything is done handmade. So when you make an instrument like this one, usually you put the sides together by bending wood.
You take
Right.
one piece of wood
Two pieces or one, yeah.
and it's thin. Is
Yeah,
it
you
thin?
use, there's a technique that when they using heated pipe. The old school is heated pipe, the modern is molded.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So heated piping, so you're in a workshop, you're spraying water so then it's gonna get burned and you're heating. So what happens is that the whole sides, that's why when they describe it, body, sides, and back. Then you slap in the back, then you slap in the soundboard. The most important part of the ukulele is the soundboard because if it's good material, that is where it vibrates. Yes, but a wagas ukulele is made differently. Now, when you knock on it, yes, it feels more solid because it's technically at least twice the thickness of a normal sides.
And how do they bend it?
They don't. Yeah, the way they made it, if I recall the owner explaining it, is that you practically have one solid block of wood, then you route it out. If you route it out pretty well, you can have a tenor, a concert, and a soprano. Then what's left with the little small wood? A pencil holder. So it's very innovative. I have not seen that kind of method in other Hawaiian brands or something.
So then you slap
Because
the soundboard
in some
on.
ways, the sound will be affected. Purists would say that if you have such a solid block,
Yeah.
the sound won't be as clean. But a ukulele is a fun instrument, and no matter how bad it kind of sounds, it's a matter of the fun that you're having with it. But if you can solve the durability, then you can actually use it and have more fun.
That's true.
If it breaks immediately, that's
Can't
it.
play it.
Yeah, and secondly, when you put it in your bag together with your tandoy, your rum, you'll get rid together with your other souvenirs.
your lambanog.
You're gonna like your lambanog. It's gonna rock and roll inside your bag. Then when you open it.
Yeah.
But of course, when you buy it in Ugas, it will come in a nice,
So nice and
well,
durable.
not padded bag, but at least it will protect it. Now, so this one, that is how this is made. Then they slap the top. Now, like I said, if it's like a mango wood, that's a good wood to use. Yeah. But of course, mango wood or any wood from the Philippines, if not treated well, will probably crack. So, how does Wagas solve that?
How do they solve that?
Well, first of all, it solves two problems. Is that you don't have to carry it in your luggage because in California, Wagas will often have a pop-up shop.
Really? You can buy, so they have.
You can buy these things in California. Yeah, just check out their website when they're in town.
Look at that.
I'm not sure whether in your area. Don't say it. We're on.
Yeah,
They
it's
might
private.
stalk. Yeah, private. But that's the first place they go. Probably because if you move it up to the frozens, they might have a harder time to have a pop-up shop because the extreme weather, California at least, is a slow creep.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is called climatizing. So you climatize your instrument. So there are also special models that are not found in Cebu that appear in their pop-up as they're part of their promo, the export models.
Wow.
Which means that they actually added already that extra step to prepare the wood for a Californian
So
weather.
you can be rest assured that
That's why you can trust Wagas. Because it is Wagas.
Yeah. So keep your eyes peeled for their pop-ups.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the pop-ups. So, okay. The second, actually, you said how it should sound well, right? So, with that, why don't you get to try to drive this around and give us our sound sample. So, with that, we move to our sound sample. Hit it, Joe. I was tired of my lady we've been gathered too long, like a one recording of a favorite song. So while she lay there sleeping, I read a paper in bed, and in the personal columns there was letter I read. If you like pina colada and getting caught in the rain, and if you're not into yoga, and if you have half a brain, if you like making love at midnight in the dunes of the Cape, I'm the lady you look for. Write to me and escape.
That's good.
So, Joe, that was a sweet and sour testing.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
tried my best.
you've got your driver's license for playing.
At least my
So, how
parents.
did you find it? Yeah,
It's
yeah. I
nice.
mean, is it
It's got a
something you
good
would
sound.
recommend? What
I
do you
would
think about it?
definitely
This is the part where I ask you. What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, well, I think it's got a great feel in your hands.
Yeah, strum it a
It's
bit
got
more.
a few. And I think the sound is pretty good. For me, I would have a lot
How
of
about
fun.
craftsmanship?
Craftsmanship.
Because if you hold it and play it, that's also when you find
Yeah.
out if it's
I think
well crafted.
I would say craftsmanship is probably the highlight for me because
Really? I
we've
mean-
got
How about the hand painted?
we've got hand painting, which is really nice. It's always special to have, the craftsmanship and the hard work of someone to put some design as
Hey,
opposed to just
shout out to the Filipino workers at Wagas. He likes your work.
That's true. Yeah, it's
Thumbs
really nice.
up.
And it's got this creative little shape. It's a pineapple, or it's a durian.
Pineapple.
It's a
And with
langka.
your size, does it feel good in your hands? Because you are like somewhere in the below 6 feet. I'm like a little bit above 5, so
Yeah, it feels good.
feels good for your
It's
size,
perfect, yeah.
right?
And it's solid. I think it's easy to take. It's light. It's and it's got you can feel some pride when you play it, whether or not you're from the Philippines. It's
Well, of course, it kind of biased because you have Filipino pride. But would you recommend this to your friends?
I would definitely recommend.
Do you have friends who play ukulele?
I have friends who can play the ukulele.
Do you have friends you want to play ukulele for?
Yeah, this would be a this would be a nice souvenir for anybody.
Yes,
I think
actually,
it's definitely worth the $70.
definitely worth the $70.
It's always worth it to spend some good money on a handmade product.
However, yeah, you should get a bag because even if you put it inside your luggage, you really have to protect the hand paintedness.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, yes, it's very nice, hand painted. Another thing that we have to remind people about hand painted work is that it's not normally like these industrial paint because usually you have this industrial car paint on guitars. So, the other technical problems you might incur, which is something I usually we in this channel usually say about Philippine ukuleles, is that they do come in these China-made bags, or sometimes they're stitched in the Philippines with China material.
Wow.
And what happens is if you leave it up in certain weather conditions, in the Philippines, it's because of our humidity, is that the polyester in those cheap bags, they stick. Because
no.
these hand painted are not usually glossy
Yeah.
and stuff.
No,
they're
they're-
painted with sometimes they're acrylic.
Yeah, you can
So,
see
yeah.
some fading already.
Not the fading. Oh yes, the fading as well, but also sticking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually from the bag.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
So
the
when you buy this one, I'm pretty sure don't forget, because you'll be so excited to bring it home. Don't forget that once you get home, you buy another bag.
Yeah.
So definitely that's one of the
quality bag.
recommendations of these. So what else can you say about it before we move up?
Well, I think it's a great souvenir, and it's a good price. And
So
it's-
let's answer the 3 questions, and you say yes or a no.
all right.
First question was the
Can
travel.
it fit in your bag?
Yes. What do you think?
Answer is yes. This is not. It's very small. It's very light. and it's solid, which answers the third question.
Third question.
But second question,
How it sound?
sounds great.
Sounds great. Yeah. And honestly, when you bring this out to the beach,
Yeah,
it's actually more durable.
exactly.
Yeah, you don't have to worry. And when in terms of sound, when you're singing among the waves, I think it's still going to project.
Yeah.
Don't expect a $500 sound from a $70 instrument, but it is definitely more fun
Yes.
in the Philippines.
It's more fun in the Philippines. I haven't seen signs for that in so long. Did they stop that?
Because it's now Love the Philippines, so it's more fun because
I like that
because
it's more fun in the
so much fun that you have to love it.
I see. That's
Yeah.
true.
So whenever you're in the Philippines, do bring home one of our wagas. Yeah, right now you can only find it in Cebu,
Or-
in Manila,
or in
in California. But in Manila, no one technically sells wagas. It's usually just out of Cebu. In Manila, it's usually just the imported brands because in Manila it's not much of an island life. It's a city life, and people want imported brands. In Cebu, they are so proud, and we are proud, even as people from Manila and people from California. We are proud that Cebu from the Philippines come up with such an instrument. So, you think you've enjoyed your stay in
I've definitely
the
enjoyed my
Philippines?
stay. I wish I could come back and stay
Yes,
longer.
next time we will be going back to Cebu, and maybe in our future episode we'll be tagging along our Joe 2,
So too.
Joe Junior, and we'll see you in our next episode. But don't forget to make a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and do subscribe so that we can go to Hawaii and California to visit my nephew. See ya!
Bye.